Okay, welcome back. So this video is going to try to cover the basics of using the trade site and how you can use that to gear your characters. So unlike games like Diablo 4 or Diablo 3, the only way to gear yourself in that game is to find stuff lying on the ground and then go enchant it and mess with it and change things and get all kinds of other stuff where you are personally by yourself in a vacuum getting everything you need. Now, kind of like in EverQuest 1 and some other games, you can get gear in this game, but there has so many different pieces. You can trade everything with everyone. There's nothing that's bound to a player. There's nothing that's class bound to a Death Knight like a World of Warcraft or anything like that. So you can take any piece of gear, and as long as someone has the required, strength, agility, strength, dexterity, intelligence to use it, and the right level, they can use it. You could take this shield off, put it in the bank box, have an alt come in that's the same level, meets the requirement, have them use it. Everything is tradable. Currencies are tradable. Everything. I don't think there's anything in the game that's not tradable except for some quest items like Maven Invitations and your very first contract map for doing a heist. So say you wanted to find these boots, use Bones of Uller. Well, here's what you would do. You determine that you want those boots because they have a bonus to the number of minions you have. You go to the Path of Exile site, click on Trade. Once it loads up, you can start typing the name of a unique. All uniques have a particular names. So you can see, even I've typed in the word Bones, and Bones of Uller Silk Slippers have started right here. So you click on that, and then you can hit Search. And this will list everyone in the game that's selling one of these things. And you can go over to the right-hand side, see he's selling for a Chaos Orb, and when there's different statistics, you can mouse over everyone's statistics and see, oh, okay, with this piece of gear here, the energy shield's 28, item level's 52, requires at least level 22, which is really low level. The energy shield is between 40 and 60. In this case, it's 55. The maximum life is always going to be 20. The maximum mana is always going to be 20. It's always going to be +1. See, it says 1-1 and 1-1, Spectres and Gems. 9% movement speed. Oh, okay, so let's try to find one with more movement speed. So we can go over here and cite movement, and then we can say percentage increase to movement speeds, which is under pseudo. And what it's actually trying to say is the total amount of movement speed will be that number at the bottom. It could be in multiple locations. You'll find that we're searching for a rare piece, for example, that it will be all over the place. So then you can find it, right? Well, how do I get it? This is an auction house. I can't buy this for myself. What you end up having to do is, say you find the perfect piece. Like, well, listen, you know what? I want this to have 4 sockets on it. Right now it's cheap. It's a Chaos Orb, but you're getting all kinds of whiz-bang, different, low socket groups. Maybe you want that movement speed at a minimum to be 15. So we have this in here with the minimum of it to be 15. As you get more towards the high end, the prices of the items are going to get higher and higher and higher. This is pretty good here, right? You don't really care about the increase to energy shield that much because between 40 and 60, it's going to be, between 41 and 59 to 60. So in this case, hey, these are all the ones that people are selling. These are player names that are increased to movement speed. And you see, hey, here's a 4-link, here's a 4-socket one. That's pretty cheap. It's only 2 Chaos Orbs, but the person is AFK. So you could be searching and searching and searching. It's like, wow, I can't find anyone that's already got 4 sockets on it. Say you don't want to take the risk of crafting it, right? Say you don't want to take the risk of using currencies to make it a 4-link blue like this is. Well, you can add that as a criterion there. So you go back to the trade site, show the filters, and you can say socket filters and say, okay, I want there to be a minimum of 4 sockets, and I want 4 of them to be linked in blue. And that'll be probably the most expensive version of this possible. No results were found. So no one's selling them already set up like that. You say, okay, how about 3 of them are blue? Okay, so we got 3 of them linked. This is red, blue, red. There's blue, white. That would work. 4 Chaos Orbs. It's going to get, as things become more rare and harder to get, they become more expensive. So none of these are linked. So no one's selling this as a 4-link. The reason being is it's really cheap on a 4-link piece of gear, which could be helmet, gloves, or boots, to use the in-game currency, the Orbs of Fusing, to try to get their link up, because it's not that much. Especially when there's silk slippers that have energy shield, that means it really leans towards being an intellect build, which means it really leans towards having blue sockets. If this had been a pair of plate boots or something, or chainmail might be leaning towards dexterity or green gems, and plate might lean towards red. That's another whole topic in of itself. But we're pretty close here. So you can say, well, you could spend 4 Chaos Orbs and get this with 3 links already, but you're going to have to use an orb of fusing to go click, 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 click a few times to try to get that 4th link, and it may unfuse everything. So you're like, let's do this. Let's just go back to the filters, and I don't care if it has any links, and I just want 4 of them, right? Costs you 2 chaos for this one right here. This is corrupted. That means you can't enchant it. I try to stay away from the corrupted gear. This one's here, still 3 chaos. What should I do? Well, this one's 4 chaos. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's remove some of the filters for this. I don't care how many sockets it has on. I want at least 3, right? And now, let's see what we get. 3 down to 2 chaos orbs. Okay, let's do this. Let's go down to at least 1 socket. And we're going to search for just 1 socket. Okay, 2 chaos orbs. It's still 2 chaos orbs. Our movement speed's really hurting us here. So, let's drop this down to 10. You know, I hate to do that. Now you can start seeing how the cost goes down. So now you only get 10% increased movement speed. So you saw how much the price went down. You're like, okay, let's go back up. Let's go to 14% movement speed. And you can see how the prices are starting to come back up to one chaos again. Here's what's tricky. People will go in here and put prices on stuff that's really, really low, hoping that you'll put one up for the same competitive price, when in reality, they want to buy it from you. They have one, they want more of it, and they want to actually sell them at a higher price, so that when you try to contact these people to get the item from them, they'll never answer. So for 1 chaos orb, we can get this stuff pretty cheap. Let's see if we can get the gem things going in. Let's say 4 blue sockets. 4 and 4. Let's see what happens there. Okay, there's 1 4 link, but 15 chaos orbs. I mean, you're better off just spazzing the fuses and the chromatics yourself. Okay, so let's do this. None of them are linked. There's 0 of these linked. I don't care that they're being linked. I want them all to be blue, but then I just want them to be, there's none like that. Okay, so I can't find with 4 blue sockets on it. Let's say we put that there. No, let's go to 3. No, there we go. Okay, 5 chaos orbs. This is still kind of pricey. So you can use a currency to change the number of sockets you have on it. So let's try to do this. Let's put nothing in here at all. Just absolutely nothing. There's nothing in here at all. We just care about 15 movement speed, and I don't care what the sockets are. I'll deal with it myself. Stay away from the corrupted one. There's a 3 chaos one. That's still pretty high. Didn't we see one that costs less than that? The movement speed's making it cost a lot. So let's say you're on a tight budget. Say you only have 1 chaos orb. So let's drop that down to 14 again. Okay, here's what a 1 chaos orb. For only 1% less movement speed, I can get all this. So then you want to say, okay, what's different here? The energy shield. Or if you're an energy shield build there, energy shield, 48, 50, 55. Okay, that's good. Is there anything at 60? So you go, okay, it looks like 55. Let me type that in my field too and see if I can get the energy shield number close to 60. So it's called increased energy shield. You can type in energy shield, right? Maximum increased pseudo. Let's say we want this at 55 at the bare minimum. No results found. Okay, either I've typed in the wrong search field. Let's kill that. Where is this? Okay, it's saying 42% increased energy shield. Let's see, let's put in energy shield. Energy shield. And there's a number of options that have the keywords. See these words in bronze color? Increased evasion energy shield, increased maximum energy shield, increase maximum energy shield, increase energy shield. There we go, local. Okay, let's put that on 55. Okay, now we're getting close. 55 energy shield, the bare minimum. It's at 1 chaos orb. 56, and everything else is more expensive. Now here comes the hard part. This is the big game design flaw. I don't know why they did this. I wish they would change it. They shouldn't do this in Path of Exile 2, but they already have. Having this trade system is annoying as piss because people don't respond. Let me show you what happens. Okay, 1 chaos orb. I'm going to message Uhu456. You click this button here. It'll message them in game. Hey, I would like to buy your Bones of Uller Silk Slipper. List for 1 chaos mercenary tab. Loja position 6. They haven't replied yet. They don't usually talk to you what they'll do is they'll send you an immediate party invite so you can warp to their hideout like I have here. And then you can buy from. Actually, I had a stack already here. Let's get rid of the stack. So they never replied. So there you have it. You can't buy the item. You put all this time and energy into trying to find the right thing. This is the one that's best priced. It's a really good one. The 14% movement speed is great. The 55 energy shield. Why won't they sell it? Why won't they respond? What can we do to drop this down? Because it could be someone who's price fixing, right? If this was an auction house, okay, it's on an auction house. If I see it, I click it and I buy it. But in this system, I have to actually message people. Then they have to invite me to their group. Then I have to get the currency and warp to their hideout, wait for the person selling the object to open a trade with me, put the object in the trade window, then I put my currency in the trade window, then we mouse over each other's shit, and then we click accept, and usually people have a macro that says TY for thank you, right? Using PoE trade. So this is the problem with this. You see that this is really going for 2 and 3 Chaos Orb because it's so close to the maximum. So you say to yourself, well, but I only have 1 Chaos Orb to spend. Okay, if this guy won't respond, what are you going to do next? Let's try dropping the energy shield down to 50, which isn't that big of a deal. Here's 1 Chaos Orb, here's 1 Chaos Orb. Let's try messaging Dasada, right? Direct message, click back to the game. Here's the message here. Will they respond? They got Asian characters here. No response. No invite. You're like, okay, that sucks. Now we go down here and see who else is selling. Oh, okay, here's one. Let's message. And as you can see, listed 19 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago. This is 4 days ago. It's price fixing. 20 minutes ago. Let's try Damon. I found that European and American characters, for whatever reason, tend to be not price fixing as much, but who knows? No reply from him. So here we are into like what, thick 5-6 minutes now. We have the money, we know the thing, we found the one we want, and we can't get anyone to reply to us. So let's go down to the next one. Coolery. Let's see if he responds. In fact, we'll go ahead and put the Chaos Orb in our inventory. Okay, Coolery's going to reply. We're going to take this. Now here's what happens. You accept this invite. He's invited me to his party. I click on this little icon here to go to their hideout. The proper protocol is that they open a trade with me first. I don't even have to move. So I wait for them to get the item, and once they give me the item, I'll give them the Chaos Orb, and we'll call it even. So I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Okay, there they go. They got the item. They sent me a trade request. I accept. You can control left click this into here, and here's the item. I've got it, and make sure it's the right one. He accepted, I accept. And you can say thank you or whatever, and make a macro away. You got to type words correctly. Thanks, dude. All right, so then you can go back to your hideout. Now we've got to deal with the enchanting part. Go to my hideout. And now we're going to leave the party because we don't want to be in his party. Not challenge to a duel. Not invite to my guild. We're going to leave the current party. All right. Now, here comes the problem. Remember, I wanted to replace these boots, which have 4 blues that are linked, with this one with red, red, green. So we're going to need a few things first. The first thing we want to modify is the number of sockets on an item. So we're going to need some of these. Oh, we only have 1 orb of fusing. Well, let's get the colors right, the number of things right first. Then we'll get the colors right. And then as we get orbs of fusing, we'll come back and we'll just let this control click this back into our inventory. So we'll put this away too. These are the ones I already had. So what you want to do first, we're gonna right click this and we're gonna hold down the shift key. See, it puts the little thing on the mouse cursor. Here's the orb of fusing. Don't drop it. I'm gonna hold down the shift key so I can try this multiple times. This is gonna change the number of sockets. I don't care about the colors. 2, 3, 2, 4. Okay, that's fine. Now we're done with those. I want to change the colors to all be blue. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna left click a chromatic orb and I'm gonna hold on the shift key and go. Oh, what? There we go. Now they're all blue. So it took me 1 chromatic orb. I don't know why it screwed up. 1 chromatic orb to get that. Now here's the problem. I don't have enough orbs of fusing to do this like 5 or 6 times. I'm just going to gamble and do it once. All right. So we're just going to left click this once. Yep, that's replacing it. We'll right click this and then put it on here. Ah, I got 3 out of 4. That's pretty good. So if I happen to get another orb of fusing, I can go in here and keep adjusting the number of links until I get a 4 link, and I could possibly replace this piece of gear with this gear. All right, now we're going to rant about this from a game design perspective. So there's a problem with this system. So we can actually just sell both of these. I'll just save them both in my Necromancer tab, right? Here's the problem with this system. Because of the way it's set up with the trade site, it's difficult to get what you want, especially if you're trying to get something that like is something that's a rare that has a lot of statistics. Now here's this wand I have here. It has the right implicit on it. Minions deal 30% increased damage. That's the highest one you can get in the game. The implicit is the one at the top between the 2 gold slash marks. Minions deal 68% increased damage. Let me just show you an example of how things get out of control. Because the real money Korean players, and even in America, the people that spend real money to buy divines, which is one of the most expensive currencies in the game, and other people know that that's happening, there will be people that pay real money to buy the best gear or sell the best gear for real money that will ruin the economy for everyone else, because everyone else will see that, hey, this is a great way to make money. I've got this really rare piece of gear. I'm going to sell it for a divine. Let me charge as much as possible because I know it's impossible for someone to get it themselves. All right, now let's say you wanted to find a wand better than my wand, right? The first thing we want to put on there is that minions deal 30% increased damage. That's called an implicit, right? Let's change this chat channel so I don't have to listen to this. Let's put this on guild. All right, so let's go back to the trade site. Open that back up, and we want to find the implicit. First thing we want to do is we want to find the type of item. So we're going to open the filters, close the socket thing. We're going to go to weapon type because a wand is a weapon, right? And then we're going to go for a type filter. And we're going to go look down here. It's all out of order. It's not in any kind of alphabetical order, which is silly. See, two-handed, everything. Here's a wand. Okay, so we got a wand. We want to set the rarity to rare, which is yellow, because rare items will have the most crazy amount of things on it. Even if you just search for that with no level requirements, you can see all these crazy different types of things here that are happening. Right? So let's start narrowing it down. We don't want this to be cold damage or spell damage or any of this kind of crap. We need to go over to the filter, and we need to add a filter. And we want to kind of match exactly what we have written on this one, right? Minions deal increased damage. So, because there's multiple ways to do this. It can be very confusing. What I usually do, we'll type in the keyword minion, and then I'll select from the list. Minions deal increased damage. But I actually want it to be what's called an implicit, which is going to be at the top. So as you scroll down, you should be able to find the implicit category in here. I could be mistaken. There it is. Implicit. So these are the ones that are only going to appear between the 2 slashes. Minions deal percentage increased damage. Okay, great. Let's put that at 30. That's not absurd. White wands drop in the game. 2 cartographers deals like nothing. Okay, so this base type of wand, remember we don't really care about the colors. We're using it for utility. Let me just show you that real quick. Not everything in the game has to be links. I'm using this for clarity, which is an aura, doesn't need a link. Flame dash for warping around, and Tempest shield, which is a self buff. I'm not using. Doesn't need to be 4 link, 6 link, all this kind of crap, right? Don't laugh at my tabula rasa. So the next thing we want to do is say, what can we? This one's 44% increased damage. Let's put that on there next. So we're going to add another layer, and we're going to say minion, and it'll say increased damage. And notice it says explicit below, right? Let's put that in there, and let's say we're looking for something at a minimum of better than what we have. Right? Let's see, what do we have? Right now we have 68% increased damage down there below, and then we have 30% at the top. So we want to go minimum equal to what we have. So let's just say 70. Now you're going to start jumping into the expensive realm, right? 3 Chaos Orbs, that's not bad. Now you need to filter these things. So what you can do next is you can click this one, and it will sort by the highest damaging one in the game. See how it's a little filtering up and down? That means the highest damaging one for sale right now on the auction house is 147 increased damage for 140 Chaos Orbs or 2 Divine Orbs. That's pretty high. I never, hardly ever have gotten a Divine Orb ever. Hardcore players do when they play really, really high up in the maps. I've had 5,000 Chaos Orbs and then convert them into Divine Orbs. I've never had a Divine Orb drop. But then you want to start thinking about other things like, okay, that's on a forward. Say our budget is 20 Chaos Orbs today. I want to see if I can upgrade my wand, which has 20 Chaos Orbs. So we want to put that in there. What is something else I could put in here? Let's take a look at our character again. And we have 40% increased critical strike chance. Let's add that as well. This wand I have is actually pretty good. You'd be hard pressed to find something better. So we want to have minions. And you got to spell it correctly. You can't spell things wrong. It's not like an Apple phone or something. Increased critical strike chance. Area of effect. Minions have blah blah increased critical strike chance. We'd say that was 40, right? Let's see what we get for that. Do a search. All right, now you can see 30% is always going to be there. The increased damage is always at least going to be the 68, and the 72% increased critical strike chance. And we're getting into the 5 Chaos Orb. Let's say our budget was 10, right? Okay, sometimes you may find that there's some funky things there you didn't know were there, and you jog that into your memory because you may learn something like, wait a minute, this is 93% increased damage and 88% increased critical strike chance for only 5 Chaos Orbs. That's insane. So you may find that kind of stuff happening. You're like, well, I have 26% critical strike multiplier, and I have also minions created recently as 90% increased critical strike chance. Let's put crit strike multiplier in there to see if we can get that to be higher than 26. So we want to put in, let's try putting multiplier in here. And let's see if we can get down here. This is it should say minions. It's not in alphabetical order. All right, let's go do it this way. You gotta spell right, dude. This keyboard is designed for playing games, not for typing. And we gotta put in just minions. And let's see here. Increase attack speed, area of effect. And you can see there's a lot of different things. Here it is, increased critical strike multiplier. What did I say, 26? Let's say 30, right? Let's just double check that. We have 26 crit multiplier. Okay, that's great. We'll go back to the site again. And let's search for that. What's coming up? Woo, 10 Chaos Orbs. Okay. So I say to myself, all right, but this has minion accuracy on it. This is 10 Chaos Orbs. Crit strike chance. Increased damage is 77. Let's sort these like this. Now, I set minimums, but as you start searching through, you say, well, you know, if I did the other way around, this will be the lowest, and then it would get higher from there. But you may find the thing that the pricing gets out of whack like right away. So you can go over here to the price and say, what's the lowest price, right? By descending, this is ascending. Some fool wants this for 50k divine orbs, not even worth it. That's complete garbage. And then for 10 Chaos Orbs, this is 77%. 72 crit, 32 crit multiplier, and recently have 85, and it has max mana on it too. So let's see, what else can we get down here? This was 72, 73, because we want the base one have, you know, increased crit, not crit strike, but damage number to be the best. So we could go this way, and you start scrolling down, but it'll take so long to get to our budget. Like it'll just be divine after divine after divine. So that you're almost better off going the other way and doing it from reverse, from the lowest to the highest. This will be 71, 20% increased damage. That's not right. That'd do 51 increased damage total. Okay. Damage, 72%, 72, 73. Okay, let's go back to our filter and say, let's be bold and say we want 100. So now we'd have everything we want, and we'd have a big boost for 50 Chaos Orbs. Oh gosh, and a divine. Now it's getting kind of expensive. Okay, let's put some limits in, right? We want that critical strike chance, we want that critical strike multiplier, but we only put minimums in. So why don't we put this in here? We say the maximum is 100, and we'll start at 80, and we want a critical strike chance. We'll leave that at 40, and we'll leave this at 30. This may be too narrow of a band. Well, let's do a search for that. Nothing found. Let's make this 50. Let's make this 50 so it's a band. Let's do a search. Okay, 50 divine orbs. No, that's not going to work. Let's see if we left that uncapped, what would we get? 20 chaos orbs. Okay. Now what happened there? So what we're trying to do, we're capping the critical strike multiplier. Let's see what's going on if we do that. Increased damage, increased critical strike chance, 86, 83, 80, 80. Let's click this and sort it by lowest to highest. You have to ignore the pricing on this. Actually, it's highest to lowest. Let's do it lowest to highest. 80, 30, 30, 30, 50, 30. Way too much. We're getting out of line here. So let's go by price, lowest to highest. Okay, when it's from the arrow pointing down, that's the lowest to highest, right? Because as you scroll down, it's going to get more expensive. So now we're at a point where we're balancing the budget versus the numbers. And then you have to go back over here and say, okay, let's bring this back to, let's put this critical strike multiplier. We'll leave that open. We'll leave that open. We'll leave this open. And just for a fluke, we're going to say it can't be higher than 120, all right? All right, what do we got now? 80. You know what? I tell you what, 20 chaos is outside our budget. Why don't I do it for 10? Let's drop something down. Let's see if we can put this down to 100 max. 20, okay. So you see I'm narrowing and narrowing and narrowing in. How about our critical strike multiplier? Let's drop that down to 25 and see, can we get that damage number up higher? No. Can we drop this critical strike down to 35? Does that make a difference? 20, no. So it looks like our damage number might be causing the most. So put that back up at 40, put this back up at 30. Let's make this 75. Actually, you know what? Let's leave this at 80 and let's remove this cap here. All right, we're getting closer here. No results found. Now, why do we have no results found? That's 0, that's why. Let's just remove that. Okay, you can't put the 0 in there because you can't have a cap of 0. You can't divide by 0. All right, so 20 chaos orbs. So this is kind of like, and it's already linked, but you don't really need it linked. The linking has probably made it more expensive. So 86 increased damage, 81 increased damage. So then you say to yourself, I'm willing to give up the crit completely. So I'm going to drop this down to 10 and drop that down to 10 and see if that affects the price. 10. Okay, so if we drop the crit down, we can get the damage number up. So let's put this at 90 now. So see what happens now. Oh, we're at 20 again. Okay, so is that going to cause a problem? Let's put, there's nothing in here, nothing in here, and nothing in here. Can we get this to 90 and 30 and give up the crit to get something cheaper? No. So we're going to put this back at 40, put this back at 30. So you're trying to find what's the governing number. What's the number that's making it too expensive for everyone? Let's put this at 85. 20 chaos orbs. So that's, you know, you could probably, that person probably won't even answer. Drop this down to 80. 20 chaos orbs. Let's see if we can get this down to 10. I'm going to put this down to 75, which is just going to be a tiny little upgrade. Okay, so for 75, we can get an upgrade because the damage number is so high, but can we then boost this to 50 and put this to 50? Does it even go that high? Let's see what happens if we do that. Nothing found. Okay, let's put this down to 30 and put this, leave that at 50. Search, 10 chaos orbs. Okay, so let's remember this one here, the minions have 32 crit strike multiplier, 72% increased crit strike chance, and 77 increased damage. Compare that to what we have right now, which is minions deal damage, 68% increased damage, so we gain 7 there. 40% crit strike chance versus 70, right? Wasn't this at 70? 77, 72, and then 32% crit multiplier. We're using, what on our crit multiplier is 26. So that's a baby upgrade, but we don't have minions created recently have 91% increased critical hit chance. Recently is unusual, right? When you have recently on there, it doesn't really tell me how long that is, right? So it doesn't say like last 3 seconds or something like that, or does it? Okay, additional effects from quantity. This is for the gym. We don't want to do that. Let's just put it on here. Okay, this someone wants to buy something. Let's just sell these boots to this person real quick. And we'll invite them to the party to see if they answer with their weird tiramisu. Okay, they're going to buy something. What you can look here and see what they wanted to buy. They want to buy the Wake of Destruction. I can go to my sell tab. It's usually highlighted in purple. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? It's these boots here. They can have those. That's fine. You can even check the price. Let's trade real quick. And I sold it for 1. He can have it for 1 and accept. That's great. Okay, now we can leave the party. Thank you, whatever. He's gone. All right, let's go back here. We missed the minions created recently have 91% increased critical hit chance. Now, why is that interesting? I summon skeletons all the time. If you watch me play, you'll see that I'm going to put in the word minions created. When I play, I'm always summoning the skeletons. That's my way to get them to jump ahead. Minions created. Is that going to be in here? Let's just leave the word minions. And we need to find minions created. This will be hard to find minions created in here. Convert, convert. It's going to be the first word. Minions convert, minions convert, minions have. This is another way for you to find something that's really important to you. Like say you're using like mage minions, you know, then you want them to block spell damage, etc. Increase attack speed. So you can see these are all the things that could have rolled in that piece of gear. So minions created, where is it? Oh gosh, it's really hard to find. Way down here. Look how many things could possibly be on here. Minions, minions, minions. Let's see how the wording is exactly. See if we can match the wording. Minions created recently have. Okay. Let's see if we can type that in. We're going to add minions created. There it is. Okay. I used 2 keywords to get this percentage. Now, what did we say ours was? Let's say we want a minimum of 95. Does our 10 Chaos Orb War get warped out? Yes. Now it's up to 20. Okay. What about 91? To match what I have right now, 20. So even the one that I have is probably worth a little more than what I'm trying to buy, but I don't mind giving up the minions created recently number. Notice that's 91. That's for a divine. It has more damage than mine too. So this is how you kind of like narrow down to what you want to try to say we just create this to 80, right? Even that, there you go, 85% critical hit chance. Where's the minions created recently? There you go. 32 crit multiplier, 72, 77 increased damage, 27 mana. Say I want to buy that, okay? 10 Chaos Orbs, Direct Whisper. See if they answer. They probably want. We could get the currency and put it in our bag already. And split this in half. That would be your budget. But, you know, I don't have nothing against Asian people. I worked in China. I don't even know what kind of language that is. That could be, gosh, that could be anything. These little strange characters. That could be Japanese, or it could be Thai. I don't know. But I find that, you know, look at the time of day and the time of night. A lot of times, they're price fixing. You know, I just, like, you can't get this person. The person won't reply to me. So I put all this time and energy into finding this cool wand that I really want to use and give me a boost to my damage. The next one up is 20 Chaos Orbs. So you're kind of screwed, right? You can't get anything. So you have to start saying to yourself, like, I want to get a better wand. Let me sacrifice one stat for another. Let me keep this search open in the background and let me refresh it at the refresh screen like this and see if anyone else is listing things since I listed, those people listed theirs. Failed to load search state, the search is no longer valid. Oh gosh, so that screwed everything over. Usually you can hit refresh in here without having to do what I did. But that's what you would do to try and find something. And when the problem is, which I want to rant about, is that since you rely upon interacting with people and there's price fixing going on and there's real money trading, you could find yourself in a situation where it's very, very hard for you to get the upgrade you want because the crafting system is not simple. But that's kind of a crash course of what you need to do. Beyond looting and finding a wand that you thought was great for yourself that had minions do 30%, you know, as an implicit, because you want the best one in the game. You know, if you haven't found one, you haven't thrown it in your bag to save it for a later date to try to enchant it, you may find that, like, gosh, I'm gonna need to buy one, or I may hope to get one to drop, or you may try to kill one off the NPCs. It's tricky. So you to really get the best stuff in the game, you need to engage with their trade site. I like it and I don't like it. I like it because the exercise you saw me go through trying to filter down and find the best wand, you could see all kinds of millions of ways where you could tinker with those variables as well to find the right thing. If you tried to craft this yourself, you would end up having to start with a gray wand and lots of orbs of scouring and maybe throwing on an essence on it to get it to start off with the high minion damage and spam, and then use a crafting table to remove something. And it's very tricky. Zizzard has a really great video that explains how to do that. But in summary, I just wanted you to have a chance to see, like, how do you get something that's perfect for you as you continue to refine and refine and refine your build. When it comes to uniques, you know, there's so many weird ways to search for uniques. You're just going to pick up on the names of them over time, like this shield that I was ranting and raving about. But that's kind of the crash course I wanted to share with you. How do you interact with a trade site to trade with someone else to get what you want? The main currency is almost always Chaos Orbs or Divine Orbs. When you get into the end game, people are using Divine Orbs. I don't even have any Divine Orbs right now. They would be right here. Later on, we will have them. But as you saw on our regular league, let's go back to there real quick. Whoops, I killed the whole game. But anyway, as you saw in the regular league, that we had tons and tons of Chaos Orb, didn't have any Divines because I always convert them over. Okay, that's basically the quick search and the quick intro I wanted to show you today on how the trade stuff works. Hope that helps you. Leave a question below or a comment, and I'll be sure to respond to you any way I can. Take care. We'll talk to you again real soon with the next little tutorial. Take care. Bye.